Hello guys, right, I just wanted to make part 3 of this video, and I've had 4 or 5 attempts at this now, and it's failed to save. I don't know, it's a problem on my computer, so I've rebooted. We're currently still on this AJ chart, and we're using this hypothetical situation where we're approaching the charts at 6 o'clock in the morning, the red dotted line that I've just highlighted, and what we're looking for is a potential reversal, a chance to get into the trade. Now, why is that not stayed highlighted? Let's go back. It's the 28th, so this is the day here. There. So H4, let's just double check where we are. Yep, here. So we can clearly see we've reversed down during the Asian session, initially up and then the last 4 hours down. We're into a massive level of support, becomes resistance becomes support there, and oh, I've used the wrong indicator, the one that that's it there, that draws the levels on the line. So we do not really want to be going short into all of this. There's no reason why it wouldn't go down and test more levels here, potentially retest this, but as you can clearly see on the histo alert on the 4-hour chart, there's no real reason, there's no, you haven't got a massive green candle that you are attempting to go against, unlike something here where we collapsed again here and we collapsed the next H4. We have not got that here. Excuse me. So a few things already on this chart are telling us we should be considering going long. Our hypothetical currency strength indicator that we use to check which charts we're going to study. Then we decided to study the AJ. We can see a massive H4 move down. If we draw the level on the close of that candle there, the flip area, we can then see where we are about to start studying this. So I've put my vertical on there. H1. This is to avoid doing all the lines unless you are really not sure where you are in regards to your potential entry. Okay, so I'm simplifying it because this is what I do most days when I am feeling fresh and ready to attack the markets. I might have been up since 5 o'clock or whatever. So we can clearly see now that we've got a strong bullish close on the H1 prior to our consideration for an entry. You could say that's just a retracement on there. How do we define the difference between a pullback, then a possible continuation down, and the a pullback with a possible continuation up? Well, that's by using what we gleaned from the histo alert. We do not want to be trading against the higher time frames colour in reality. I know that's a bit of a contradiction on the H4, but when you look at the H4, you can clearly see there is no power to the downside. You can clearly see we're reducing power. The momentum, the size of the bar is growing smaller. So we're in a massive swing up trend as well. So back to H1 again, we draw some levels on there. We could actually draw a level on the H4. We've got a massive move down. I do apologise, I've overlooked that massive move down, and it's because I've made this video so many times now. I'm trying not to make it go on too long. So big old move down prior to us approaching the chart, or if we woke up at 5:45, then we'd just wait to see what that H4 was doing, or potentially just grab a scalp to the long side, depending on your analysis, chart analysis, of course. Clearly, we can see at 5 o'clock we'd busted through this level here. The green candle's low. So what do we know when we break an old support level? It often goes back to test it as resistance. Very often does that. There's that low there. There's price when we started. and the gap between the two is 16 and 22. I'm looking on there, 22.9 and 71.163. So a 6 or 7 pip dip gap. Go down to draw our levels on the H1. So if we're going long, we've got to break through that. Remember to reverse to the upside against this 2 candle uptrend, low, high, high, low, high, 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 low. Keep singing until you break the low, the H1 low. In this instance, this candle here, and then you're good to go to the long side. So it's important to notice also this support. So we ought to draw that on. Would represent a problem to the long side. So once again, not only have we got to break and close above the H4 support, we've got to break and close above the H1 support, which you can clearly see we've done, and then price pops back down to it to test it and continues up. So we're really getting a good picture of the direction. The currency strength indicator, the histo alert has closed green, the H4 is at support, the H4 is a big candle. So remember, we can't see any of this on the right hand side of this 6 AM bar. So let's scroll over, make things a little bit easier for ourselves. So here we are on the M30 level to break, and remember we can't see any of this, so we're just drawing our levels on the left hand side and the current swing down to see what the charts are telling us. Here we've broken and closed above the M30, but we've still got this support here and here to either attack if there was enough room between the two when you take the spread out, or wait until the price has closed through them, and then the next step is the H1 break. Okay, so stands to reason the M30 will give us a little bit of a problem, but remember we've got all the power is powering on up to the upside. The currency, the histo, the H4 at support, and so on. So it, you build up a picture, and you, with screen time, you will start to understand how price moves between these gaps. The important part of this here is the reversal. Remember, the trend reversal is because it's so rare, or relatively rare. Once you get it, you will, and especially when it's in the volatile period of the market as well, it will tend to do what you expect it to do. You have a high level of expectation trading in the volatile period. The RSI gives you that, your support and resistance gives you that, your levels give you that. Don't try and trade this in the quiet times of the market, because like every other trading method out there, you will most likely get caught in the chop. You will get failed reversals in the choppy times of market. The best quality reversals and best quality moves of any method, whether it's trading Fibonacci's or moving average crossovers, will always be in that period of the Frankfurt, London Open, the American Open here, or at the end of the day after that H4 close at 6 in the evening. Okay, so we've got our M30 bullish engulfing, and we can check now the M15, and this is where you could have preempted your trade and got in with a 1 minute trend reversal, potentially using the M5 and M15 prior to the 6 o'clock bar if you'd wanted to. I often do, because I believe trends work in the same way on absolutely every time frame, and bearing in mind we're bouncing off this massive level of support I talked about, so, or resistance acting as support should I say, and that big H4 candle, we can learn to trade it with a high level of accuracy. We're never trading blind, guys. We're never just looking at a big candle think, oh, I'll go back, I'll trade it, because That isn't the way we trade. We trade reversals like a computer game or a machine. So on the M15 chart, we have once again this engulfing bar has broken through the M15 penultimate bar, which is our reversal. So we can draw that level on there, bearing in mind we can't see anything this side. Okay, so we've built up our trading plan by filling in all the levels over here, and we know if these support levels fail, there is a massive chance the price will go up. If old support or old supply fails to continue as supply, in other words send the price down, then there are no sellers left in the market. It is all about buyers. The sellers have lost the battle with the buyers. Okay, so M15, we've got the reversal up. We haven't got any momentum on the M15 chart yet, but we always use the lower time frames, and this is precisely why we use them. Now we're starting to move into exciting territory with the histo alert. We've had the break up, the pullback, the break and confirmation here. Here's your break and close that happened. I would have been waiting for that at 6 AM patiently, or 5:55, waiting for something like this. Big old candle, relatively speaking. Remember, you know, we are talking a target of 5 or 6 pips at this time of day for me to have done my day's work. So 7 or 8 pips with a move of 8 pips is my day's work. And we knew that this was likely to have a problem here, but it's closed through it with our momentum signal here and here. You know, we've closed through this the open or close of the H4 here as well. We've closed through the M15 and all that lot. So we're getting all these positive signals. Okay, this is how you use the lines to your advantage, and you simplify things by making your trading plan using the previous swing and all the tools in our toolbox. Okay, and as price wends its way up through these levels, making sure that your higher time frame levels are either being attacked or have been attacked and beaten, and then you just continue on up. Okay, now if there's any questions, please, I don't get many questions about precise stuff that I mention in these videos. Please ask. If there's any stuff that you know, write it down, write notes, and then write me a message on Twitter, preferably Twitter, because YouTube, it gets sometimes the messages are lagged and stuff. So, you know, contact me on Twitter, ask questions about videos, and I will attempt to answer them and clarify anything for you. Okay, so hopefully this one will save and you'll be seeing it. Thanks for watching. Have a great Sunday.